Hello.
Hello. It's another Wednesday.
Hello, Lip.
Yeah. Yes. Hello, Lip.
It's got to
Oh
be a
man.
traditional greeting.
Oh, I like that. I actually like that a lot. All three of us are here, kind of. Tim's,
Tim's kind of here.
yeah, he's getting off of work, so he may chime in when he has the opportunity to, but he is here. He is sort of available, so
Hell yeah.
we will hear from him periodically throughout the night. But other than that, it's a normal show, jam-packed show, plenty of things to
Jam-packed.
talk about.
So much to talk about.
Dude, you got Summer's Game Fest starting tomorrow. Got Xbox Showcase
Yeah.
this weekend.
There's
got,
a lot of showcases happening.
Oh my god.
Starfield?
Yeah, Starfield merch is being leaked out in the wild, which is nice. Nice to see. Very nice controller.
Did you see that controller?
Yeah,
the controller looks good, man.
You know, I was listening to Mr. Matty Plays talk about that today, and he's like, I'm old school, and he's like, I like the aesthetic of the controller, but also you don't look at it 99% of the time that you're playing. So he's like, I don't really understand the point, and I'm like,
oh, come on.
like, you gotta. He's like, you get that dopamine rush when you see it sitting there, but then the rest of the time, you're looking at the screen, and I was just like, come on, man, like it's the same thing for headsets, but fuck it, you want them to look cool.
Bro,
That's why there's
dopamine
RGB.
rush. He nailed it. That's
Yeah.
the point. Dopamine rush.
That is the point. It really is. Mm-hmm. But I'm excited. The Starfield stuff looks cool. I don't know. I've been kind of much like I did with Diablo. I've been kind of like not paying a whole lot of attention to it, so my hype levels stay low. I stay in the moment with the games that I have instead of being like, hey, 2 months, man, taking time off work kind of thing, So
yeah,
I don't know.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Yeah,
too much.
yeah, because that's when I end up spending too much damn money. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man.
Super premium special edition pre-order.
Yeah, I might have found my. I don't know. We're still in the honeymoon phase, but I might have found my forever game. But we'll talk about that here in a minute.
Way.
We might talk about that here in a minute. Justin, what have you been playing this week?
So I picked up the free game that's on Epic right now called Midnight Ghost Hunt.
Yes.
This is a early access game. It's a prop hunt style game where there are two teams. One team plays as ghost hunters, and the other team plays as the ghosts, right? So it's 4v4, a bunch of different maps. I primarily played as the ghost. So the loop for the ghost is like you start and you find something to possess, to hide, right? And you like go into like a chair or whatever. And after like a minute, the hunters come into the map and they start looking for y'all to find you. And they've got like different items that they can use to track you. And my first match was on this big pirate ship. And I found this like fake duck, right? Okay. And so I go up into this duck that I'm hiding in, and you can make noises. You can taunt as a ghost, and so I taunt, and you just hear this honk. And I'm like, bro, do you guys hear that? And they're like, yeah, what the fuck? And so the hunters pop in, and I just start honking like mad. And over the proximity chat, I just hear, do you guys hear a duck up there? And I just started cracking up. The prox chat's a lot of fun. The hunters have to find you and then like kill you basically, and then you drop your little ghost guts and they have to vacuum them up. So if they get all 4 ghosts, they win the round, but they have a 5-minute timer. So after 5 minutes it becomes midnight, and then the tables flip and the ghosts do like a bunch of damage and you can like kill the hunters. So you get like different attacks you can use, and so then it becomes the hunters are the hunted, and they have to like hold out and survive the ghosts. But it's very fun because you're just like, they give you a lot of abilities. Like there's a doppelganger ability, so I'm getting chased as a ghost by the hunters, and they're trying to like shoot me with their like fucking anti-ghost guns and hit me with their anti-ghost maces and shit. And I use the doppelganger ability where I mimic a hunter, right? And I just like back up, and then they're all just looking around like, where the fuck did he go? And just like back out, let him run by, possess something else, and it just feels really fun, just outwitting people and like using the abilities that are given to you. There are also funny things you can possess. I was spectating my friend. I was dead, and I was spectating, and I saw my friend just like hiding, and I was like, yo, that's a good hiding spot. And then a hunter ran by, and I was like, yo, that's funny. He didn't see you. And then a giant mall Santa Claus device started tottering by, and I was like, Matt, are you Santa Claus? And he was like, fuck yeah, I'm Santa Claus, just chasing the hunters down. It's a lot of fun. We did have a few issues with people abusing proximity chat, where they literally just blared music as loud as they possibly could. So that was annoying. I was able to easily mute them, but it's like, are you playing this game competitively? This goofy ass hide and go seek game? Come on. Oh, Cody, I can't hear you. Uh-oh. Cody, I can't hear you at all.
Oh no, god damn it.
This is a big oh no.
Hello?
Uh,
Can you hear me now?
I think
Cody is broken.
Yeah.
Cody
Yeah, I can
is
hear
back.
You can't hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, for some reason on my OBS, my mic was literally just blinking. Like,
Oh, weird.
yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? And so I was very confused as you were, and of course it's right as you were finishing your explanation, right?
Right,
So I didn't have a second to fix it before we moved on. So, but no, that honestly that sounds like a ton of fun. I'm glad you mentioned it because I saw you mention it the other night. I was like, all right, I'll get on there and grab it. Too much Diablo. So I'm glad you mentioned it now before they unveil their mystery game that's coming out here soon.
Yep. This is your last chance.
Yeah. Tim, do you got a second to tell us what games you've been playing?
Nope.
That's a no. So I'm going to talk about Diablo.
I do. I just
Okay.
couldn't hit my push to talk. I've been playing Halo and Halo and Halo on different machines. Just to kind of test performance, and then also because reasons. And then Path of Exile, because I can't afford to get Diablo yet, so I started a new Path of Exile playthrough on Xbox, which is fun.
Yeah. Look, I'll tell you what.
Very nice.
Something that I'm really enjoying these days is that ARPGs have figured out how to do controllers in their games, kind of thing. And excuse me, sorry. I've just never been a fan of like the 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons kind of thing for PC, and I don't want to have to rebind the whole fucking keyboard. You know what I mean? Like to get it to work type deal. So I'm happy that they've done that because the controller just feels real nice playing these games. Because that's how I'm actually playing Diablo, full controller, and it feels great. And guys, I don't know what else to tell you. I absolutely fucking love Diablo. I'm having a ton of fun. I'm almost level 50. I think I'm like level 48.
Is that the level cap?
No, that's halfway.
Oh, okay.
That's the level cap for the main set of skills before you start getting the Paragon stuff. So you get like 50 level points, basically, that you use in your build, and then you move on to the Paragon side of the build type thing, which I don't know a whole lot about because I don't normally get this deep into ARPGs, right? But I'm super excited for like the next step of this whole deal, because like it's just all about making your character stronger, and it's just like I watch these videos of people just like doing an insane amount of damage, and I want to do that. Like I want to do it so bad. I want to be on World Tier 4 Nightmare and just be fucking owning everything in a like 10-mile radius. Like that's what I want to do.
Big number.
Yeah, I really want it. I want to do it. And then and also but at the same time, like as I'm playing, I'm like, man, I could definitely replay this as like another character, right? Like Necromancers, they buffed them in a recent patch, so now they're a little bit more viable with their minions and stuff like that. They tried to nerf Rogue. Rogue is still probably the highest damage dealing class in the fucking game. It's insane how fast that they be beating bosses and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like Diablo 4, is probably the smoothest live service launch I've ever been a part of personally. There's really no issues. Like, all the issues have been like super minor, right? Like, oh, my queue time was the longest queue time I sat in was 5 minutes. It's normally less than a minute. It's normally less than a minute to get into the fucking game, even with like a little queue on there. So the servers have been super stable. I've only desynced like twice. I wish I knew how to check how many hours I put into that fucking game already, because it's got to be at least 40.
Oh, man.
Like, I've just been no-lifing the hell out of this game. And there's like, not everybody I know, but like my dad's playing it. Ben got on starting Monday kind of thing. He's playing it. We were talking last night. There's so many people playing it. It's one of those games that's just like, I was there when that happened. You know what I mean? Like, you just kind of feel like you're a part of like something really big that like happened in a year kind of deal.
It's fun.
Yeah, so it's just, you know, honeymoon phase.
Kind of sounds like you're describing the Elden Ring phase from last year.
Yeah, that's really what it feels like. And that's why, like, I said it off stream. I haven't had time to play Tears of the Kingdom because, one, I'm playing Diablo, and two, my daughter, no joke, basically owns that fucking Switch now. She's played more Tears of the Kingdom than I have. Still in the tutorial area, and she just runs around and does a bunch of random shit. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the game.
Right, well, she can't read. So, like, it's really hard to advance in Zelda when you can't read, right? You know what I mean? Like, she's 5. She's always like, Dad, read this to me. It's like, girl, like, I'm trying to take a nap. You know what I mean? Or it's like, I'm trying to do something else. She's like, what does it say? The same thing it said yesterday. You know what I mean? Because it's like the same characters. So, I haven't had time to play Tears of the Kingdom, but like...
She was elected to lead.
Yeah, so, but for me so far, this is my game of the year. Like, hands down. We'll see what happens when, like, the Battle Pass comes out, because, like, there's still no Battle Pass. That'll happen in July, and does that then make the game pay to win at that point, you know? But, like, what they have right now is, like, I don't have any complaints. Like, the end game could probably have a little bit more content, but for a live service game to have an end game day one is basically unheard of these days, right? Like, normally these live service games they release, and there's no like real end game content. Diablo has end game content. There's just, you know, it's just kind of like a few things that are just kind of on loop, but it's there. I don't think Destiny had any end game content when it came out. The Division, like, you know, a bunch of these games that, you know, struggle generally on release. I don't have to wait for 2 DLCs for Diablo 4 to be good. It's good right now, right? The story's good. The combat feels great. The exploration's great. There's no negatives to this fucking game right now. And how many games release these days like that? Like, basically none. Like, Tears of the Kingdom is probably the only other game that's released with literally 0 issues. You know what I mean? Outside of the ones that are just inherent to the Switch. You know,
right.
You know what I mean?
It feels like an actual complete game
right.
on launch.
Yeah, and I just don't feel like we get that enough these days. So that's probably part of my fascination with it, because like they nailed the aesthetic. Like, I know I've talked about that in the past. They nailed the aesthetic. I don't know, man. It's such a fucking good game. If you like ARPGs, buy Diablo 4. It's not Path of Exile complicated. It's really easy to jump in. If you don't understand it, just look up a fucking build guide and roll, man, because it's just a good time. That's what I ended up doing. My first, like, 10 levels, I tried to do what I wanted. I was like, this ain't working. Fuck this. And I just looked up a build guide real quick. Yeah, I was like, well, it costs nothing to respec, man. Like, it literally...
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really easy to respec, you know? I tried it a couple different things because they nerfed my basic attack Arclash on the update. They nerfed part of it, so I was like, oh, well, let me try this. And I, like, altered the build a little bit, and it didn't do what I wanted it to do. Like, the descriptors made it sound a lot better than what it ended up kind of, like, playing as. But that, all it does is cost you some gold. You can get, like, fucking 100,000 gold in, like, an hour. You just sell some items, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a problem, you know? You sell so much loot, it's not a big deal, so... Yeah.
With, I'm curious about like the multiplayer aspects of the game. I was reading some stuff about like invasions, like other players invading and like killing you or something.
That's probably just in the PvP zone. So they have 2, from what I understand, because I haven't gotten there yet. But from what I've read, there's 2 small PvP zones, and this is another reason why I like this game. The PvP zone is accessible whether you want to do PvP or
so
not.
they have a RuneScape wilderness.
Kind of. You still have to turn on PvP to actually do PvP, but you can still participate in the PvP zone if you don't have PvP turned on. Because there's certain rewards. There's a certain currency you can get in the PvP zone. So if you don't want a PvP, you don't have to, but you have to go in that area to get that currency kind of thing. So like it's all left up to player choice. It's not like the Division where like you go in the dark zone, you're PvPing whether you fucking like it or not, right? It's that PvE VP system kind of thing. It can be the same thing in Diablo if you want it to be, but if you don't, you just want to continue your little PvE journey and go up there and kill the monsters and get the currency and get the loot, and that's what you have fun with. Go right ahead, bud. Nobody's stopping you, and
very
that's
accessible.
Yeah, all of it, the whole game is very, very accessible, and I think that's probably another thing that's really like towards its advantage, because it's accessible, it's cross-play. There's couch co-op if you get it on console. Cool. The only real negative I can probably think of off the top of my head is that I have read that people that have like squatted up, got 4 people in a party and things, just tear through the content. Like there's no like
too easy.
Yeah, like there's a difficulty scaling in the game for everybody's level or whatever. But with 4 people all popping all their stuff and whatnot, you know what I mean? Like I'd be like back there chain lightning a bunch of motherfuckers and freezing them and whatnot, and then you got a whirlwind barbarian just literally spinning in circles with his giant sword or axe, and then you got a rogue just dashing between. Like I can understand where like the enemies just can't keep up with the DPS that all the classes are putting out, kind of thing. Or you got like a necro with like fucking 18 skeletons over there fucking everything up. You know what I mean? Like with corpse explosion. And then that's the other thing, the aspects in the game, which is like the legendary equipment that get like the special abilities. They can change your build so much. I saw one for Necromancer earlier where the corpse explosion ability, it tweaks it to where instead of just exploding the corpse, a volatile skeleton appears out of the corpse and rushes an enemy and explodes.
No way.
And it's like a unique item kind of thing type deal. But I was like, that's fucking awesome. Like, yeah, there's just so much cool shit in this fucking game, dude. It's so cool. I don't know, man. I can't, like I said, I don't have enough good things, or I can't stop good things about Diablo. It's my game of the year so far. We'll see. Hopefully I get some time to play Zelda.
Yeah.
And then there's still Starfield, and maybe some unannounced games. I'm not going to have time for Final Fantasy at this point. It's not happening. Like, it's just not. It looks great.
I want to throw out there, Cody, I'm so glad that you're loving the hell out of Diablo. That's awesome, because I've always been a big Diablo fan. But $25 for a skin, as much as it is cosmetic only, that does kind of drive me nuts. And I have seen a lot of people, like, that's the one complaint people have. And I do think it is a negative. I know you keep saying you don't have any personal negatives with the game. And I think it's because you're probably not going to engage with that. Or if you do, it'll be like you buy a skin because you like it.
I did once.
It is kind of crazy how much the monetization is. Yeah, see what I mean? Like, it's fine. It's not.
Let me explain the
monetization. It's not pay to win, so I don't have a huge gripe about it. But it does bug me a bit that they're so expensive.
Well, but I think we've talked about this. This is kind of inherent to live service games, right? The continued monetization. Like, yes, it's a full price game, so it kind of sucks instead of it being like free to play. So, like, I get that piece, but as long as it's not pay to win, I don't really care. I did engage in one cosmetic purchase for the Primeval horse that you can get for the Primeval mount. But I did that only because, well, one, I do like the cosmetic. 2, it's for the Twitch drops. So you had to buy 2 subs for somebody's Twitch, and then you would get the cosmetic. So you weren't paying that money to Blizzard, you were paying that money to the Twitch streamer kind of thing instead. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's how I kind of justified it.
Bad.
Yeah, I kind of justified it to myself because like I would like to support this guy playing Diablo right now, and I get a horse out of it kind of thing. So it's just like, it was cool. The streamer I was watching is Riker. He does a lot of like Diablo content in general that I've really been enjoying leading up to the game, and now he put out a video that literally explains every like not a tribute, but like status effect and stuff, like Frozen,
Oh, wow.
Lucky Hit, like all this. It's in like an hour long kind of thing, and he explains the whole thing because I didn't know what the hell Lucky Hit was. I had to go look it up. I was like, what the fuck does this do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand this mechanic. So, but I understand why people are mad about the cosmetics. I just think that's just a reality of today's gaming. There, every single game, and we can talk about this.
100%, it definitely is. You're right.
Like we can talk about this with Twitch because it's not just gaming, but there's gonna be the continued monetization as long as you can engage in that and it doesn't ruin somebody else's experience. I don't care at this point. You know what I mean? Like if it becomes pay to win, that's different. Where like you're leveling up and like that's affecting my experience with the game. Okay, that's fucked up. But if you just brought something pretty that you wanted to do for your enjoyment, for your dopamine rush, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, who really cares at that point? So,
I was gonna ask, like, do you feel like the in-game stuff you've got has been cool looking?
Oh yeah.
Or do you feel like they kept all the cool stuff for pay to win?
So honestly, so I made a female sorceress, right? And she's like an Asian chick or whatever, but like I transmogged her stuff. So she has like this like cowl on with like a little face covering and stuff. And the transmog system in it is fantastic. So let's say you did buy one of those cosmetics kind of thing. And then all of a sudden you decided you didn't like it long term kind of thing. You can just transmog it and make it look like something else at your wardrobe in any town. But no, I don't feel like the stuff in the shop. I actually hate all the sorcerer stuff in the shop. I think it looks dumb. I think it looks really stupid. So like I would never spend that money. The necromancer armor is kind of cool, but for the most part, I actually think the stuff in the game looks better than the other the stuff in the shop. Like no, I don't have that feeling that they like saved all their best stuff. And if they did, they sucked at it. Like you know what I mean? Like if they thought that was their best shit, in my opinion, that was dumb. So, but yeah, no, it's.
Is there like a gradient to the pricing? Like, not all the skins are $20. I'm assuming.
No, there's you can get like the horse pack. Horse armors come full circle.
Oh
here.
my god!
Yeah, you can get like the horse armor and like 800 platinum, which is like the premium currency for like, I think it's $20, you know, and then you can use the 800 platinum to something else. So like the horse armor is really like $10. I think you save like $2. I'm not honestly. I haven't engaged.
Deal,
yeah, I haven't really engaged in the shop all that much, other than clicking in there to get the fucking notification out of my menu.
Oh,
because it like you know when he has like unread notification, it's got a like little glowing dot. That shit annoys the fuck out of me. So I went in there. I was like clicking all the fucking things to make sure I had like seen all of them, so it would go away. Because I don't. But outside of that, there's no like. It's not like Diablo Immortal where it's like, hey, you finished this boss, spend $10. You know what I mean? Like it's just.
It's not in your face about it.
Yeah, when you bring up your map, it has all your like your options and stuff like that, right? And one of the options is shop. And if you want to go in the shop, that's where you go in the shop. If you don't go in the shop, you just fucking ignore it. Like it's not intrusive into the gameplay at all.
That's good.
So that's why I don't really care about it. If they were like bugging me like every 5 levels, hey man, you should buy this, blah blah blah, then I'd probably be a little bit more irritated about it. But yeah. Anyways, Diablo 4 is good. I don't want to talk about that too much because we got plenty of stuff to talk about today. But yeah,
we should mention that Whoopi Goldberg is
oh
pissed
my God.
that it's not on Mac.
This is why it's my game of the year. Whoopi Goldberg ain't mad about fucking Tears of the Kingdom. She's mad about Diablo and how she can't play it on her Mac. I can't believe it.
So funny,
dude. Yeah, I can't believe it. Oh my God.
Yeah, she put out a little video on TikTok or something, just pleading for Blizzard to put it on Mac. She's like, "Man, I got a Mac. That's just what I'm on. So just hook me up." I thought this was like a PR stunt, so I looked into it, and like, sure enough, there's this video of her. They're like discussing video games on The View or something. Yeah. And she starts talking about how she loves playing Diablo 3. She just loves killing demons and shit. It's like, damn, she is a gamer.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Cool.
Yeah, well, she could use the Mac came out with I just saw this the other day. Mac came out with like a Proton type thing that like you see on Steam Deck, and somebody got Cyberpunk working on a Mac.
Oh,
through Proton, so you might be able to do it with Diablo kind of thing.
there may be a way.
Yeah, I
You're
think
telling me Whoopi Goldberg can't afford a gaming PC? Get the fuck out of here!
yeah, that's true. That's true. She's got plenty of money. So, but I just I saw that. It was one. It was like the main developer for, I don't know if he's like the game director or what, for Diablo 4. He's like, I didn't have Whoopi Goldberg yelling at us to put Diablo on Mac on my launch day bingo card or whatever.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's
that's fucking good. I absolutely love that. So, but let's move on here real quick. Street Fighter 6, the other large launch that came out right around the same time as Diablo, is also having a fantastic launch. I actually saw a tweet the other day where they were like, "Hey, show us your fighters," kind of thing, and people have made some fucking wild characters.
That character creator has like an arc level of absurdity that you can do.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking crazy.
Capcom is on such a run lately. Oh my god.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Big time.
So and I've heard the same complaint actually that we're just kind of talking about with Diablo. There's a lot of microtransactions for like cosmetics and stuff, but the core gameplay is there, so like people aren't like super mad about it. But I think it's probably a little bit more frustrating because in a fighting game, I feel like there's probably a little bit more customization you'd like to do because you get to, like, their character creator is more in depth than Diablo's, right? You can't do like the fucking wide, skinny, like really skinny waist, really big chest thing in Diablo that you can in. I saw, like I said, I saw some weird ass characters kind of thing that you can in Street Fighter. Street Fighter's got a bunch of customization options, but yeah, they've had over. Oh, you have it here. They have the highest concurrent player count on Steam, which I think was over 1 million people.
For fighting games,
for fighting games, which beat out Mortal Kombat 11, Tekken, and Street Fighter 5, which is crazy.
Damn. Yeah, that's huge. I wonder how much of that is related to this game. They've really geared it towards bringing new players in and not scaring them away. It sounds like they've done a really good job of like simplifying a lot of things for people to ease their way into the game.
Right.
And honestly, that's one of the things that makes me want to pick it up. Like, I'm watching you, Street Fighter 6. You're on the wish list.
Yeah.
When that sale rolls around.
Yeah, I would like to pick it up when I free up some time to play other games, because I've always
next year.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of in fighting games specifically, like the create a character career mode type thing. I really like it in boxing games. I fucking love that shit in boxing games. So that being a Street Fighter makes me more interested. I've always liked the create a character in fighting games. Like Soul Calibur had it, right? And it wasn't like, I don't remember if there was like a career mode, but they had a really in-depth like character creator. More like, I do remember my cousin Justin made like Tim's Mordhau level amount of characters in fucking Soul Calibur. Like he made a bunch of fucking dudes. So
Soul Calibur's had a lot of big customization.
You think that it started with Mordhau with me? You don't think it
no,
started
but
with
it's
Soul
just
Calibur?
it's just the easiest thing to reference because we've made fun of you so much about it in Mordhau. So, but you were saying, Justin? Sorry.
Yeah, I definitely remember making characters in Soul Cal, and I think I had one that was like, the base was like the Lizard Man fighter.
Oh yeah.
Who in that game he could like he sprouted wings and like would breathe fire and shit.
Yeah.
But my outfit was just like naked man torso, deer legs, and a big deer head.
Yeah.
But the deer wasn't like brown; it was like blue and red plaid fur. Yeah. I named that character Dur, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh man, yeah, I think that really helps the longevity of fighting games for more casual players, right? Mm-hmm. When they can do stuff like that, they can create their own characters and fuck around and whatnot. So
yeah, I think that's like an instant buy-in where it's like, I don't know anything about Ryu. I know he's been in all of these fucking games. Yeah. I don't want to have to learn a bunch of shit just to get into it. Well, just make your own character.
And now he's thick.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
I thought he said sick for a second, and my brain had to, like, correct it. I was like...
Nah, buddy, he got them thick shoulders and thighs, boy.
Yeah, they did... I feel like they did kind of, like, bulk everybody up for in this Street Fighter. Like they've always been like big, right? You know what I mean? But it really feels like they kind of animated up a little bit. You know what I mean? With like the size. So
yeah, I like the style that they went for, the kind of like street art aesthetic, and the way they stylize the characters I think is very cool, and it feels very distinct from other fighting games and very Street Fighter.
Yeah, I think they did a great job. And I'm happy they're being very successful.
Yeah, it's good to see.
Remember when
some
they
games
showed the
come out and
logo for
just
Street
kick
Fighter
ass.
6 and everybody was like, "What the fuck is happening? This looks terrible." And then here we are.
Don't judge the game by the cover, you know.
Yeah.
Good for them.
All right, so we're gonna move on real quick. MetaQuest 3 announced later this year. I don't know who the fuck's gonna buy it, honestly, just because all that whole industry's been kind of crazy lately. So they're reducing the price on the older headsets from the $100 increase they did like around this time last year back to the old back to the old prices. Like that never made any sense.
I saw this article and I was like, oh, cool. I'll go pick up Quest 2 for cheaper. And the Tim was like, nah, they're not actually reducing the prices because they jacked them up for no reason.
Yeah. Well, remember, it wasn't just them that jacked them up, right? Remember, PlayStation jacked up their prices everywhere but the U.S. by $100 too.
And Canada. Everywhere outside the U.S. and Canada.
U.S. and Canada. So it was a weird thing that happened, and it happened almost back to back. It was like within like a month of each other. So it was a weird thing that happened. PlayStation, obviously, since the PlayStation 5 is the best-selling console of this generation so far, doesn't need to reduce their prices. You know what I mean? But so we won't see that anytime soon. But on top of that, Apple's first AR VR product was shown off. Nobody's gonna fucking buy this shit because
you don't want to buy the Vision Pro VR for $3,500.
Like, how out of touch is Apple? Like, your phone's $1,100. Now you're gonna try and release a VR headset in a market that's like dominated by the Quest because you could get it for $299 before they did the price hike, and now you can get it for $299 again. But like, who the fuck's gonna buy that? Like,
they're not even really marketing it towards gamers either. They're just like, wear this for productivity. Wear this just for your day-to-day life. They've got like the dude with the battery in his back pocket, just like walking around with it. Like,
who the fuck wants to wear snowboard goggles around the goddamn city? Like, you know what I mean?
Big.
Like, this isn't Cyberpunk. Like, what the fuck? What are we doing? Like, and then Jez Corden brought up a good point, and he was like, "Hey, I tested out HoloLens. Watching people use this makes my arms hurt already." Because like they had like a demonstration of like somebody like drawing a heart with like their hand or like writing a letter, and it's just like, well, yeah, you got to hold your arm up here the whole fucking time. Like,
that's a lot more work.
I'm gonna tell you what, people's shoulders are not ready for this. Okay, to have their fucking arm held up like this all goddamn day. Like, it just, it doesn't make any, nothing that I saw. And to be fair, I didn't watch the entire showcase, but nothing that I saw made any fucking sense to me. Why it's priced so high and who it's marketed to. Like, you think somebody who's working from home is going to buy this shit? This is more than a whole computer setup. Like,
Whoopi Goldberg is going to buy this.
Still can't play Diablo. Shit.
You can play Apple Arcade games on it.
I just feel like it's so out of touch with what the market would actually want in the VR space. Because even like PlayStation, right? It's expensive. It's premium. It's not that kind of premium, and at least it's clearly marketed towards people who play fucking video games. Like, I don't know who the hell is gonna buy this fucking VR product. VR, it's a VR AR, isn't it? I believe.
I mean, yeah, it looks like it's gonna be like reading like your environment around you. It's gonna 3D scan your house, so hope you enjoy that. But yeah, it's got like AR elements where it like recognizes where you're at.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know.
I know part of the price is like their lenses are like super high resolution or whatever, and they've got like, you can like turn the fade on, like fully immerse yourself or kind of see what's going on around you, and that sounds great, but I don't think VR, or definitely not AR, is at that level where anyone other than like really weird enthusiasts are going to buy this.
Right. Like if I made enough money, I would love to like go out and buy this cool piece of tech because I it probably is
try
cool
it
as
out.
shit, right? And then it'll probably sit on my shelf just like my Quest does because I don't have enough fucking room to use this stuff. Like that's like the biggest drawback of VR in general. If you don't have the room dedicated for it, then you're not gonna use it. If you don't want to punch your
it's
light,
very limiting.
you know what I mean? Like you're not like
You
or-
really got to commit
Yeah.
to punching your light.
What I will say though is if there's one company that's going to come in and make this actually mainstream, it would be Apple, because where they put products, people tend to follow. If you look at the iPhone, nobody wanted a smartphone first. The iPod, nobody wanted an MP3 player first. Like,
but those,
they kind of mainstream everything they touch. So as much as I want to say, yeah, nobody's going to buy it, no, there are going to be people who will buy it, and it's going to be mostly Apple customers, and then also content creators going like, oh, this is it. You know what I mean? Like, tell me MKBHD isn't going to immediately make a video on this. Like,
so I 100% agree content creators will, but, and not to get like political, economy's not great, people don't have extra money to spend, and this thing is prohibitively expensive. Like this isn't like $1,100 for a phone.
Every MacBook Air, MacBook Pro,
right.
every Mac,
but that has more uses than the AR VR, right? Like that has more day-to-day uses. Like you can justify that. I don't see how people, like your everyday person, is going to be able to justify a VR headset. Like
harder to rate that off on your taxes,
right?
Yeah,
like,
I'm not disagreeing that it's stupid, but I am.
I understand. I get what you're saying. What you're saying is right. Like Apple has for a long time done that. They've mainstreamed a lot of stuff. That was also when Steve Jobs was in charge for like 99% of that. So I just don't trust this. In my opinion.
That could be great for VR. Right. Just get a huge install base out of nowhere, and then people are talking about it, and people actually start developing more shit for VR.
Yeah,
could be good.
I want VR to be successful. Don't get me wrong, because Blade and Sorcery is so much fucking fun, dude. I will never stop talking about that fucking game. You want to talk about a good workout and just fucking annihilating these NPCs, and you be bashing them with the shield, and they like fly into the stands or some shit. Like it's so great. Good. It's so much fun. God, I don't know. There has to be a bigger incentive for the everyday person, I feel like. So, but anyways.
I think the biggest impact you could have is if you had for example, handheld PC gaming and Linux gaming in general, right? Both have grown exponentially in the last couple of years because you had a super affordable option from a mainstream company, Valve, that immediately got you a huge install base for both handheld gaming PCs and also Linux gaming PCs. I think you could have something like that with like a cheaper option, but I think the problem is I don't think we're going to get that anytime soon from anybody other than Facebook.
Yeah. That option's already out there, and that's the Quest, right? Because like the Steam Deck, the lowest version is pretty affordable. You know what I mean? Like it's not. It's cheaper than most phones. Right? I mean, even the most expensive version, right? The most expensive version was $700. Most phones run about $1,000, $800, $1,000 these days, right? For like a brand new phone. So, I think that's kind of like the difference here, right? Like, the affordable option is already there, and it's already been pushed by a huge company. So I don't know. I think at this point, you're probably either buying the Quest or you're getting a PS headset, like a PSVR headset, if you're a gamer. Outside of that, I don't know like I said, I don't know who they're marketing this thing towards. Outside of probably content creators that'll end up reviewing it, and I'm sure it'll be cool. Linus Tech Tips is 100% gonna if he hasn't already.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like he's gonna review this thing, and I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna be like, oh, that's a lot of cool stuff that I can't afford. Cool, just like everything else on his fucking channel. Like that's a bunch of cool tech that I can't afford. But I'm glad that he got to play with it.
I saw a funny post that was just like, you know how people always like they'll finally get a new iPhone and then the first day they own it, they drop it and then they just have a cracked screen for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
just that, but with this thing, just oh fuck. Well, I guess I'll just have all these cracks.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I mean, yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen. I mean, 100%. That's, god damn it. You know who Apple is, man. They're the loot goblin. All right, they just be dropping shit and people be picking it up, just fucking as fast as they can.
Yes.
So I'm curious to see when Valve actually announces whatever Project Deckard is, their new VR headset, as a thing, and what they're going to come in price-wise, because that's in development too. And if it's more price competitive, it doesn't have to be MetaQuest cheap, but cheaper than $3,500. It'd be interesting to see what they do with that, because the Index is still one of the better VR systems out there. But it'd be interesting to see whatever Deckard winds up being.
I'm no rush to see it as of right now, honestly, because I can't play Diablo 4 on my headset.
Bro, there's
VR
desktop mode on there. What are you talking about? You can.
No, it would be awful. I 100% promise it would be bad. But no, I was trying to segue to this loot goblin because Blizzard fired the dev who made the loot goblin for making the loot goblin funny, is basically what it is. Justin,
this is funny to see. Yeah. It sounds like there's this dude at Blizzard, and he like designed and wrote this loot goblin character who basically just says shit like, I'm buying a new yacht, and just really like rich person shit, and like fucking people over to get more money. And he posted on Twitter saying that he got fired over this because somebody thought he was taking a shot at them. Some higher up was like, this guy's fucking making fun of me, and they fired him. And simultaneously the marketing team is just like using clips of like the funny dialogue that this guy wrote for the loot goblin to promote like Warcraft's expansion. Yep. And whatever else this dude was in. So Blizzard being Blizzard.
Yeah, I couldn't believe this, because even after the marketing team started using it, he was like, "See, like it's been approved, like it can't be that bad." And they're like, "Nah, get the fuck out of here!" Like they were still like, "Bye, bitch." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of like detail about this, so I don't know. I think take it with a grain of salt, but it sounds like it's in Blizzard's wheelhouse. So
yeah, I do feel like this is like his personal belief, and there's not probably a whole lot of evidence to back it up. But it's funny to think about where like they were like, "Oh, you think this is what you think of Bobby? This is what you think of the big boss? Get the fuck out of here, bro! Like, we're still gonna use it, but get out of here. You know what I mean? Like."
Bobby's like, I told you about my yacht in confidence.
My fifth yacht. Oh my
Yeah.
God, Bobby. Bobby. Speaking of Bobby and his future boss, Xbox. Xbox is promising all gameplay for their like every first party title that they're gonna show at their show on Sunday is gonna be gameplay.
No, that's not what they said. They didn't say it was all going to be gameplay. They said there was going to be no CG trailers. They said that it would be a mix of gameplay, in-engine footage, and in-game cinematics. Not 100% gameplay. It would be great if it was all gameplay, but that's not. They did say in-engine footage as well, which is technically not CG trailers, but we've seen that tag used a million times.
I think so. Just first-party titles, I think, is what they're referring to with just the gameplay. Everything else, like their third-party stuff and whatnot, will probably be what you're talking about. But
their quote about the first party was in-game footage, in-engine footage, or in-game footage with some cinematics.
Yeah.
But nothing strictly CG, which is
nice.
That's a lot. That's plenty. Thank you, Xbox, for recognizing how much gamers hate CG trailers.
Right. Because Sony didn't get hit for this, but their state of play or whatever, State of the Union, whatever the fuck they did the other day,
that recent showcase
was
Arcade of Thieves.
Yeah, I can't remember what the hell they call it. That was basically all CG, and I remember a couple years ago, Xbox got fucking dragged for doing like all CG for all their trailers. So I'm hoping we see some Avowed gameplay. That's my prediction of the game. I think we're gonna see. They've already heavily indicated that Fable is going to be shown through some tweets and stuff. But we haven't heard anything about Avowed since the reveal, like 3 or 4 years ago now.
They went dark, man.
Yeah, 100% went dark. It's like, it's time. We need to wash the taste of Redfall out of our mouths. Gollum saved them from getting out of the news cycle a little bit. So now it's just time to, you know what? Let me see what I'm going to play while I wait for Skyrim to come out. Skyrim, or Elder Scrolls 6, not Skyrim.
Skyrim
Elder Scrolls 6.
Another Skyrim port.
Skyrim 2. Oh, man. But yeah, no.
Todd.
I'm really excited for Avowed. I really like that world in general, right? I want to say Path of Exile. It's not what it is. It's Pillars of Eternity. The PoE similarities get me mixed up all the time. But I really like the Pillars of Eternity world. I put a decent amount of time into that first game. So I would love to play like a first-person, third-person action game in that world kind of thing. So
yeah, I'm excited to see what they end up showing. They have so many titles that they just haven't like shown anything for. Yeah. Like I always bring up Hellblade, the sequel to Hellblade.
Oh, I think Hellblade's coming too.
I hope so, man. If they showed Hellblade and Fable, that would make my day, man.
This for Xbox show, I think this could be like a huge hitter, right? Because past Starfield, we don't really know. Kind of like with Sony, right? Sony had their show, and this all could change literally tomorrow because Sony could have saved some of their stuff for the Summer Game Fest, which I don't.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if I agree with that. Like, if you're gonna hold like one of your state of play things, or you know what I mean, that you haven't had in a couple years, big swings there, little swings at Summer Games Fest, in my opinion, right? Because you're catering directly to your fan base compared to just the gaming community as a whole.
That would feel weird if they had like some bombshell at the Summer Game Fest.
Right after, or yeah, like what, 3 weeks after they just had that other thing. So it would be weird, but we'll see. But yeah, no, this could be Avowed, Fable. If you have Avowed, Fable, Hellblade, like
that'd be a big showing,
right? And you're like, hey, first quarter Hellblade, second quarter, you know what I mean, is fucking Avowed. Maybe fourth quarter is Fable, right? Because Fable is probably a little bit further down the line.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what people want too. Is we want a new roadmap for these big releases.
Yeah.
Give us an idea of where we're gonna be.
Yeah, because I mean, look, Starfield. I'm coming around on it a little bit, right? You know, I've been super hyper skeptical of it. Just because I hate the fact that it's still in the fucking creation engine. It's too goddamn old. But I'm coming around on it a little bit, and I'm hoping good things for it. Trying to be optimistic. So I know Tim's hyped. He's about to lose his life into it, like I've lost my life to Diablo. Once that comes out. So.
You know who's not optimistic?
Who's that?
The art designer at Bungie who designed an emblem called Hot Garbage.
Yo, this is just funny.
They put a weapon emblem in the game that you can buy. You could buy for $2 during the Halo Invitational tournament.
Yeah.
Called Hot Garbage, and it was just a dumpster on fire. And all I could think was, is 343 becoming self-aware? Do you realize what hot garbage you're shoveling out to us as Halo fans?
Yeah. Do you want to go into this? Because we talked about it a little bit in the chat the other day.
We can just zip over it.
Okay.
There's some new stuff going on in Halo.
Yeah.
They are adding like some new equipment item that lets you teleport like Sombra from Overwatch. And they're adding career stats. So like like we've had in previous Halo games, where it tracks how many splatters you've got, how many times you killed somebody with the AR, etc., etc. They decided to put that in the game, like it should have been from the very beginning, and unfortunately, it's not retroactive. So all of your stats up until now don't count, which is a bummer.
Yeah, and we talked about this a little bit in the chat. I'm very conflicted about them even coming out with this at this point, because the big draw to the ranking system in the past couple of Halos was it unlocked shit. It unlocked cosmetics.
Right, you get cool armor. Yeah.
Right. So like there was an incentive to actually do it. There is zero incentive for those ranks now, other than
there is an incentive.
Oh, is there? Did you find one?
Yes,
because I know
Cody,
we were talking
there is
about
an incentive.
Okay, tell me.
Guess
what is it?
Here's what it is. An emblem.
Nah, fuck all that. Stop it. Stop it. I can't. I can't.
Okay, what about this? A profile card background.
I will admit that's okay. Like I liked customizing my profile cards in MCC, kind of deal. So like I don't really mind that, but like
I think it's hilarious that they're bringing a feature that's been in shooters since Modern Warfare 2 and has been in like every Halo going back to probably Halo 3, where it's like Master Sergeant, well, like whatever, like you can rank up with military ranks, and they're like, hey, we're gonna put it into Halo. Yeah, celebrate. It's like, dude, this was in Halo 5, and that game was hot garbage. Yeah. So here we are.
Yeah.
Tim, if you like that, you're going to love the new thing that they're adding to Halo Infinite in Season 4. The Infection game mode.
Oh my god, yeah. It's just...
Isn't that already in custom lobbies? Like, haven't they already done that?
You can probably create it
probably,
yourself, I'm sure.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it probably is in custom lobbies right now after they came out with Forge. So that was kind of like when I basically resigned myself to Halo. This version of Halo is probably done. When Forge came out and there was no
shadow drop new campaign content or something during the showcase. Like,
I mean, that would be fantastic. But honestly, I legitimately, I really think the only thing that would bring back a portion of a player base would be a BR mode for Halo. I mean, it's built. You got the map already. Like, just do it. Like, they even tested it a little bit with like that game mode a while back. What was that called, Justin? I know you played it. Because it had like the wall closing in.
But it was like eliminations and like the zone closing. Yeah.
Yeah, like they already like pseudo tested it. Like this, like just do it. Like people love BRs. Like it's not as like popular as it was, but people still love them. So fucking just put one out. Like I don't understand. I'm actually kind of surprised no one has made one through Forge. Now that I think about it.
Someone may have. There's a lot of stuff out there, but you gotta like dig through and find stuff. So
it's not
hard.
super intuitive, much like Fortnite. You know what I mean? Fortnite's fucking shit is hot garbage too when it comes to
weird UI.
Stuff. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, you know what? Last note on Halo. Don't worry, guys. It's a 10-year game. Give it another 5 years, and we'll see where it's at.
Why do you gotta hurt me like that?
Because that's a pain all Halo fans feel.
I know. Well, yeah, because you know what's funny is we talk so much shit on it, but every time we play it, we have such a good time with it because we just don't fucking care. You know, like there's no hot sweaty moment. It's just like we're playing Halo. Yeah.
It's the moment to moment gameplay, man.
Yeah. What could have been, right? You know, if they had some incentive to play the damn game. Real quick, because we're almost coming up on that hour time. Twitch is trying to, basically tried to commit seppuku last night. They came out with some interesting new guidelines that would basically probably killed the platform. And I don't feel like that's an exaggeration. I think some people probably do, but just a little rundown. You can't they weren't going to allow people to multi-stream at the same time. So like what we do, where like I'm streaming to YouTube and Justin's streaming to Twitch, would not be allowed for the channel.
Actually, no, ours is fine.
No, it's not. It wasn't just affiliates. It was everybody. It didn't matter. It was any channel. You could not multi-stream at the same time.
So we're not technically multi-streaming, because what multi-stream is we use OBS to cast to 2 different platforms at the same time from the same account. We're not doing that. So our setup is different on each stream. The art is different on each stream. We have
already got the workaround.
We've
got the workaround right here, buddy.
With how strict these were gonna come down, I don't think they would have cared personally. We probably could have claimed, it's streamed from 2 different computers in 2 different locations, Minnesota and Kansas. You know what I mean? And they'd be like, I don't care. They're both OLED. You know. Just the way this message kind of came out, that's my personal feeling. That's projection. Tim's probably right because he's way more knowledgeable about streaming in general than I am. So, but on top of that, there was no burned in ads. So you couldn't have.
Can we explain burned in ads real quick? Because that phrase, suddenly I saw it everywhere, and I was like, "What the fuck does this mean?"
Yeah. So basically, like, you weren't allowed to have ads just like on your screen. At all times, kind of thing, and then your banner ads could only be like 3% of the screen. So like Riker, the guy who I referenced earlier, he has a GNC like picture PNG with a QR code because he's got a sponsorship with them on his screen, kind of thing, right? That wasn't going to be allowed anymore. Banner ads could only be like 3% of the screen, and they like literally like had pictures and were like, "Hey, you have it like this right now. It could be like this." Kind of thing. You weren't allowed to have audio ads, and then they were like, "Oh, if you don't like these changes, we are going to charge you $25 to get out of your affiliate contract, and then whatever else is left over, whatever else money we owe you will go to you." And then they just recently cut the subs from a 70-30 split to the streamer, so streamer getting 70, Twitch getting 30. They dumped it down to 50-50 kind of thing. So it's 50-50 between Twitch and the creator right now.
Yuck.
And then all this stuff was going to be on top of it, because what Twitch wants to do is they want to monopolize all advertising on their platform, which I understand from like a business perspective, but you've had all this stuff in place to not be like that for the entirety of Twitch, and this is how creators make the main source of their income, especially after you had a 20% cut to their fucking subs. Like, yeah. So
Thanks.
It was a lot of bad stuff. People were coming after Twitch pretty hard.
A lot of big Twitch streamers were pretty mad.
Yeah. Moist Critical was like, "This is fucking stupid." He put out a 20-minute video on YouTube about it. Asmongold basically said, if these actually happen, I will look for a different platform to be my main streaming platform, because he's like, all this is stupid. Like, I'm not going to sit here and stand for this. He did say he wouldn't permanently stop streaming on Twitch, just because he didn't feel like it was right to do to his Twitch audience, kind of thing. But he would find a new main streaming platform that wouldn't pigeonhole him, kind of thing, like Twitch is trying to do. And there was a lot of creators that were saying a lot of the same stuff. I don't know if you guys know what OTK is. I'm not super familiar with them myself. They're apparently like a big network on Twitch that does a lot of different kinds of content. They're like, we're out if this is a thing, like if this becomes real, because it basically wouldn't have allowed creators to do things like tournaments or
we're getting some echo.
Yeah, getting some echo from Timmer.
Oh,
from you.
Yep.
You're the OBS symbol.
I know. Yeah. What's happening?
Chaos.
It's on fire.
Are you
Anyways,
still getting echo?
no.
Okay, good.
Okay. But anyways, yeah, everything was real bad for Twitch yesterday, and then Twitch came out last night and was like, "Hey, we realized the things we put out, people aren't happy about it. We didn't word it correctly, so we're gonna go back and reword it." Is basically what they said, and we're like, Moist Critical was like, "You have pictures. It's a fucking picture book with explanations of how this shit's supposed to. What are we supposed to misinterpret?"
It was Jeff Bezos. Like, could we wring a little bit more money out of this?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, they're mad. Rewind that back.
Oops.
Undo.
Yeah. So they did come out today and said that, hey, we're gonna get rid of all that stuff, and they did come out with like new language and stuff. I didn't read that. I didn't have a chance to read that because I saw that actually while I was at the gym. So I'm not really familiar with what that says, but it sounds like they're trying to walk back everything that they came out with yesterday because of the backlash was just so hard. So craziness for sure.
I'm glad I got home just in time to not be on my phone so we can end the show. It's great.
Yes,
Perfect timing.
it is perfect.
Perfect timing.
So
How's my headset mic sound? Like hot trash?
that sounds
It's
right.
okay.
Yeah,
Like a 343 artist rendition of a microphone? It's great.
It's probably better than that. It's probably better, honestly.
Oh my
man.
God.
That's funny. That is funny. Oh, Jesus Christ. But anyways, and the last thing we had on the dock was Summer Games Fest, but we talked about that a little bit. You guys got any more thoughts on that?
It's coming up tomorrow. Excited to see what's up. I'll probably have to catch the stream, the VOD.
Yeah,
The
same.
following day.
Same.
That's the same for me for all of Key 3 week, with the exception of Sunday is the Xbox Games Show Fest and the Starfield event. And I didn't get a chance to follow up. I didn't get to look at I've been at work since all day. So I haven't been in the chat very much. So I know I threw out there this morning that I'd be down to co-stream it, but I don't know if you guys are...
I'll be around.
I will not be available.
Yeah, Justin
will not be available? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't... That's not a promise that we're going to do it, but like if possible, we'll make it work.
Yeah, Tim and I both have children. So it really depends on if they're going to fucking cooperate or not with that whole deal. If the spouses are willing to watch the children for... Honestly, it'll probably be like 2 or 3 hours with Starfield and the Xbox
both
Showcase.
Of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say 3 or 4.
Yeah. So going off of how long the Xbox Showcase was last year, it didn't have the separate Starfield thing.
I saw a rumor today that id's going to announce a game at either Xbox or the thing, and I kind of immediately, it was like Quake, and then I was like, more realistically, Rage 3, because the first 2 went so well. If they do Rage 3, I swear to God, just make a Fallout game and put vehicles in it. Just stop trying to do Rage. It's terrible.
I honestly
quit trying to make Rage a thing.
I really liked Rage 1's little like boomerang that you could like.
Rage 1 and Rage 2 have some great things in them.
Yeah.
The problem is the world is
shite.
Not well filled out.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a lot of sense, and for some reason you thought for marketing this game that the first one was kind of a flop. You were going to use Andrew WK to announce Rage 2.
Oh, yeah.
For no reason.
That was strange.
I forgot about that.
Never forget, because I was like, I was like watching the it was at QuakeCon, and I was watching the whole thing, and I was like, this is great, this is awesome. Okay, Rage, all right, it's gonna be. Why is Andrew WK on stage? What is happening? Let's get a party started. Let's get a party started. What is going on?
Yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what comes out this week. I really am. Because I feel like all the major games that we've been talking about for the past couple of years, they're all kind of coming. Yeah, they're all coming to a head right now. You know what I mean? You got Final Fantasy coming out, got Starfield.
It's a good year, man. There's a lot of good stuff coming out, and like the releases have been good in a lot of the cases.
Yeah. Did you see the tweet that Skillup sent out? He was like, "Oh, it's only June, and we've had all these bangers, right? And it's like Resident Evil 4 and Diablo and all. Yeah, it's like, well, it was like Resident Evil 4, Diablo, Tears of the Kingdom, Gollum." And then it just kept going with some other games kind of thing. Just like tossed Gollum in there. I was like, this motherfucker.
What a troll, dude.
Oh my God, I love him. I mean, he's got bad taste in Destiny, but other than that, I really like him. So
it's an addiction. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I wish he'd go back to doing the Division content because that's how he started. He used to do builds and lore stuff for the Division 1. That's the only reason why I knew who the fuck he was, and then he started reviewing games, and it's like,
wasn't there another reviewer that was how they started, and then we stopped watching them? They're crazy.
Yes. Yes.
We don't need to name names, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. I don't actually remember his name, but I do think I remember who you're talking about. So, But anyways, anything else, boys? Closing thoughts.
My closing thought is I've clocked about 60 hours in Zelda, and it wasn't until my 60th hour that I learned that there are battle bots in the game.
Oh,
They're little robots.
Sorry?
yes.
They're little robots that you activate, and they will like chase down enemies and attack them, and you can attach different things to your robots.
Yes.
Can you put a bomb
it's
on a
fucking
robot?
Dope. Yeah.
You can make a
He's like, of
suicide
course.
bomber bot?
Oh yeah. Of
Yeah.
course.
Oh
Tim.
no.
Of course you can do
this
that.
is horrible.
Oh man.
That poor
Oh.
little robot.
Yeah. It is a joy.
I'm really curious to see if there's a way I can see how many hours I put into Diablo 4.
Yeah, it seems like it would be weird if there wasn't a way.
I'm gonna
I
Google
don't
it.
think BattleNet tracks it.
That's so odd. I like
It's a
having
very,
that.
very Blizzard thing to do.
Yeah. Do you have anything, Tim? While I look this up.
Not really. I'm just really, like you guys were saying, I'm really excited to see what gets announced this week. What I don't know this. I have nothing to base this on, but I said earlier, just shadow drop new campaign content for Halo. I actually do think that Xbox, because now they have a trend, right? They shadow dropped Halo Infinite. They shadow dropped what was the rhythm game that came out earlier this year?
Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush. I think that the timing is pretty good for them to just kind of drop something unannounced that we didn't know was coming yet again, or even something that we know was coming, but maybe like an open beta for something. Who knows? But I think that that's likely, and if it happens, it would happen at the Xbox Games Showcase, not at the Bethesda Showcase, because Bethesda's Showcase is really Starfield-centric. So I think that, with how many studios they own now, it would not surprise me if all of a sudden just something gets dropped, and I'm excited to see. I hope that that's true. This is maybe a big case of hopium, but
Probably.
really, they have a trend of doing it now, and based on the language that Phil used about things that they have coming up with collections of games and all that, I would love to see, maybe a Fable 2 remastered with a Fable 3 port or something, right? Like, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it'll definitely. I would like, dude. If they release, no joke, if they release more Halo campaign content, I would be so fucking excited.
Oh, I'd play the hell out of it. I still think the campaign is a ton of fun, even though I haven't played it in a bit.
Yeah.
I would love if they did more of the unique bosses throughout the open world that you could go hunt down. Like, give me more of that content.
Yeah, like a.
It'd be the
like a
easiest for them to
bounty
make,
system.
and it would be so fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
Cody,
If
what
only
you got?
WB hadn't trademarked the Nemesis system or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
dude. We'll always be mad about
What a
that.
cardinal sin.
Fucking Jesus Christ.
It would be so good in a Halo open world. Oh my god.
Yes.
Randomly generated boss traits for grunts? Are you kidding me?
I would love that. I would love that. I'm gonna have to see if I can figure this out.
Give me a grunt with a grav hammer. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see if I can figure this out. To see how many hours I've already put into Diablo. There's got to be a way. To
You know
figure
what?
it.
If you're logged in if you have your BattleNet account linked with GOG, you can usually track hours played over there.
Oh, that's true. I don't really log into GOG, but I didn't think about that. Anyways, well, I'll figure that out and maybe
integrated with all
tweet it
my
out.
shit.
Just to get everybody, but to let everybody know. But yeah, Diablo 4, fucking. If you want an ARPG, if you like ARPGs, it's fully out now. You don't got to pay any extra money outside of the base price. Go out, get it. You will get your bang for buck, 100%. Like, I don't know. I'm probably going to talk about Diablo 4 next week too. Like, it's just that game.
Yep.
It's just that game for me right now. So, other than that, I'll tweet that out if I figure it out. And we love you. We will potentially see you on Sunday. If not, we will definitely see you next Wednesday, 10 o'clock Central. And we'll be here to talk about more video games and probably about all the crazy shit that's going to happen this week. So,
oh, yeah.
all right. We love you. Bye.
I hope your quality's good.